Hey everybody, welcome back. Another check. So I did some thinking and some research, and the hive that I had that was going to swarm the other day, I think what I'm going to actually do is I broke it up a little bit, but I think I'm going to add honey supers now. Not to all of them, just to the really strong hives. No queen excluder, because if they're wanting to swarm because she has no room to lay, I want them to use that honey super however they need it, whether it's to store honey, or if she needs to lay in the brood, I'll just let her lay up there. 21 days, those bees will emerge and it'll be opened up again. They'll just backfill it with honey, so it's not a big deal. A couple of them I'm gonna leave sugar syrup on, but 2 or 3 of them I'm gonna go ahead and start putting on honey supers, because they're starting to bring in nectar. Nectar flow hasn't started yet, still about 2 weeks, but you really don't want to wait until the nectar flow starts. You want to go ahead and get your boxes on, let them use some of the excess honey from last spring that they still have stored, or some of the slow nectar that they have coming in right now. Let them use that to draw out some of them frames, so when the heavy nectar hits, they're ready to fill it instead of trying to build frames up. So yeah, like they're drawing this one out pretty good. She don't have anything in there, so no eggs or nothing. Usually you'll start to see them right here in this center part if you really want to look for the eggs. So that's what you call a cup. It's not charged, it's just there for emergencies. They're not going to do anything with it. Well, they will do something with it, but it's just there for when we're ready, we're going to use it. There's no need to destroy it unless you're checking to make sure there's nothing in there, but I can clearly see inside that there's nothing, but the second you destroy it, they're just going to build it back. Oh, there's my queen. It's perfect. So she's up top. So she has moved up top. She's probably backfilling some of these frames that have already hatched, already emerged. But yeah, all this has got larvae up here. Probably just going to keep these keep this feeder on them for now. And I'm keeping the feeder on them because I want them to draw out the rest of this comb so she's got more places to lay. I got some frames in my truck. I'll go get a drawn out frame and let her use it. Give her more room to lay. It looks like it's got a little wax moth damage, but nothing can be to be concerned with. I'll show you the wax moth. So there's your little bit of wax moth damage. You can see that. That line right there, that's a wax moth cocoon. But they'll clean that right up. They'll clean that right up. Matter of fact, to make it a little easier on them, we'll take this bad boy right here and we'll scoop it out, throw it on the ground. Make sure you keep your frames tight. If you don't, they'll make bridge comb, especially with drones. They'll make the bridge comb. You won't never be able to close it up. Alright, so let's check these girls. I got a feeling that these probably going to go ahead and put supers on here. Yeah, I might go ahead and put a super on this one. I can already tell they got a lot of bees in here. Yeah. I mean, look, that's just the top cover, and I smoked them. So we're going to check and make sure that these girls aren't close to swarming. I don't want no swarm cells in here. Yeah, they got some nectar coming in. Oh, yeah. Yeah, pollen, nectar. Oh, they're packing this baby full of pollen. Oh, pretty brood pattern. Look at that. It's beautiful. For some reason, I don't know if y'all heard it in the other video, they absolutely love this blue light on this microphone, and I do not know why. They got a bunch of queen cups, but they don't have anything charged. So a queen cup is just like I showed you a while ago. That's just it's the start of a queen without an egg in it. It's the start of a queen cell, but they haven't put a egg in there. Yeah, all those on the bottom that you see, those are queen cups. A queen cell, or a charged cell, will look just like that, but it'll have egg in it, and it'll be packed full of larvae. And I mean packed full. Fresh brood. Lots of drones too. So that's like really fresh. They like just capped that. So I've got honey supers from last year that are already drawn out. And I've heard that the best way to get frames drawn out, if you want some honey supers drawn out, is to stagger them. So you go with a frame of drawn out comb, place it in there, and then you go with a just a plastic frame or wax or whatever that's not drawn out, and then another one that's drawn out. And then without, so here on the end I'm just going to leave it with 2 undrawn comb. And that way that'll give her, if she needs somewhere to lay, she'll have somewhere pretty quick as soon as because they'll come in here and they'll clean all this comb up, make it look really good, polish it. They'll come in here and polish all this. They'll clean this up, and then and you can see all the brown, the little bitty brown spots. That's where brood was at before. But they'll come in here, clean all that up, and then she'll have somewhere to lay. So that's what we're going to do right now. Once the nectar flow starts, you really don't have to be concerned with them swarming. They will, but you don't really have to be too concerned with that, because it's likely that they'll realize that the nectar flow has started and there's no way for them to be able to recover if they swarm and produce a new queen. So most of the time she'll just slow down her laying. Not always the case. I'm going to put an inner cover on that does not have a screen on it, so that when I open it up I can see how far they've worked up. When you open up the frame, open up the top cover, if you've got a lot of bees that have pushed out onto here, then your colony is getting really strong. There's many reasons why I want to check this one next. The main reason is it had a swarm cell capped. Not capped. It wasn't capped yet, but they had formed a swarm cell. So I'm not even going to hesitate. I'm going to actually separate these boxes and go ahead and check, see what they got going on, just so y'all understand what's going on. A lot of cups down here, and all I'm doing is checking to see if there's anything inside of them. See if we prevented these girls from swarming last time we was in here. Because you'll find out very quickly if they're ready to swarm by just searching through these cups. And I don't see any charged cups anymore. They've polished them real good though. They're ready to lay. She's ready to fill. I don't see any cups that are charged. I am super happy. So I'm going to remove this box. And I'm going to go ahead and look in the bottom. And if their swarm cells are gone, then I'm probably going to put a super on these girls too. Alright, I'm not seeing no queen cups. And yes, there's a chance that they could have queen cells up in the frames a little bit, so you can't see them from the bottom. But majority of the time, when they're ready to swarm, they're going to make so many queen cells that you're going to see cups hanging down. You're going to see queen cells hanging down. It's just inevitable. Now in a supersedure situation, you won't see that, but with a box filled up like this, there's no issue for them to supersede this queen. There's just too many bees in here. This frame looks too good. If you're wondering how many bees are in here, there's you a good look. I smoked them from the bottom up, and that's what they're looking like now. So yeah, they're getting a honey super for sure. And I'm not putting no queen excluder on, because if she needs to lay in there, I want her to lay in there. So we're going to smoke them back down. You don't want to smoke the box too much. So what I'm doing is I'm smoking myself so that the bees will stay off of me. And then once they get relaxed, then we'll hit them one time with smoke, because I want to get them down in those frames. I don't want to smash a bunch of bees, because then you're just making them mad. And then they will come after you. So we're just going to push them down back in the box, just like so. You can see how the frames are starting to clear up. And we're going to do the same thing here. There's a whole lot of bees on the bottom. I don't want to smush a bunch of bees. I don't want my queen to get smashed while I'm forcing those bees up. But here's a good comparison. You can see all these cups, how they've been polished here, and that one's been polished. So those are cups. They're not charged. they're just ready to be, for eggs to be laid in them. So they'll leave those like that. They'll probably form them back. And that's just to say, all right, queen, these cups are ready. Go ahead and lay an egg. We're ready to swarm. And she'll fill every single one of these cups, not every one, but most of them with eggs. And once that happens, then it'll form into a queen cell or a swarm cell. It's not a cup anymore. Cup's empty. There's actually one right there. You can see that. So that's a queen cup. See how it's just sitting there ready to go? If we bust it open, you see that there's nothing in there, but it's polished up real nice. That one's not polished quite as good as that one. That one's really polished. She's ready to go. So, all right, and again, these have worked their way back up again, so we're gonna smoke them back down. Not too much smoke. Bees don't have lungs like we do, but you can smoke them too much. You don't want to. We're just gonna lay this one right on top. And that's the top box. That's a good looking hive. I'm really happy with that. So we'll give them a couple puffs of smoke, let them run back down, and we're gonna put a super on top. And yes, I do have pink honey supers. Outside don't matter, it's all about what's on the inside. Look at that. Always make sure your queen's not on the inner cover, especially when you got them packed on here like this. You can see right here. I know it's hard to see. There's 2 queen cells right there. And I just busted one. There's another one right here. I just busted that one. I'm not seeing any other ones. It looks like those are the only ones. Oh, they look like they're forming one right here. Yep, that one's full. I'm pretty sure that one's full, yep. Lots of queen cells. Alright folks, so just to recap, we got, I'm just going to keep feeding pink and yellow. I want them to draw out all that wax so she has plenty of room to lay. And what'll happen is if you put supers on now, they could use supers, it's fine, you can put one on there. Problem is your outside 3 or 4 frames won't never get touched because bees like to work their way up. I want them to go ahead and draw those frames out in the pink box so that once she gets yellow filled or pink filled and she bounces back and forth, once she gets the 3 or 4 frames in the middle filled up like she normally does, she'll have room to expand instead of going up into the honey super. So you can put honey supers on too early on a growing hive. Now on an established hive like Blue, I put 2 supers on because they had like 4 or 5 swarm cells. They won't capped yet. Once they're capped, you're in a different situation. So I went through every single frame, destroyed all the queen cells, put 2 honey supers on so they have room to go up. There is drawn comb in those honey supers, so they'll be able to go up there, clean them out, polish them, and she'll be able to lay right up in there like she wants to. So some queens are just, the genetics allow them, or don't allow them, but their genetics that they have cause them to swarm more. If that's the case with Blue, and after all this room I've given her, if she still wants to swarm, I'm just going to go ahead and split it. So I'll take her out with a couple of frames, put it in another box, let the Blue swarm like they're going to swarm, they'll keep bringing in honey or nectar. Problem is about halfway through the nectar flow, their foragers will start to die off, and you'll lose a lot of your foragers towards the end of the nectar flow, so you won't get the most out of it. So I don't want to split the blue or the brown, but if I have to, I will. I looked at brown as well. They don't have any more swarm cells. They look good. She's got plenty of room to lay. She's already laying in those new frames I put up there. And then this blue one right here, I went ahead and put a super on it because I believe she had swarm cells as well. She might not have, but she was running out of room to lay. But nevertheless, blue and pink feeding, honey super, the two at the end, white and brown honey super. So the small yellow one here, I'm not really sure what's going on with that queen. She didn't really have any brood built up. I know I put frames of brood in there, but she didn't really have any built up when I first opened it last week or week before last. But she looks like she's starting to lay now. So she is a swarm she's a swarm queen from last year. So she's freshly mated. She may not have mated well enough, so I'm not 100% sure. But we'll just keep an eye on her. She looks like she's doing better. And then this one right here, they're just packed. They just look so good. Yeah, you can see how quickly they come out to investigate. Beautiful hive. It's not quite warm enough today for them to be flying heavy, so that's why you're not seeing as many foragers. It's about 60 degrees out right now and quite windy. Partly cloudy. So that's it for the video. I really appreciate everybody that watches them. I know a lot of folks that do watch them don't know a lot about bees. That's okay. I try to do my best to explain stuff. If you got any questions, just ask them. If I don't know the answer, I'll figure it out. I'll find out. I've got a lot of good mentors. I went into a class just this past Saturday. It was a beginner class. I know this is my second year, but I wasn't able to take it last year, so I thought this is the best opportunity for me to learn the stuff that I may have missed and how I learned it. I learned it through reading and YouTube. So I wanted to go see what other people thought. Really good class. Had a really good time. Very educational folks in there. And they've told me before, they told me the other night, if I have any questions, reach out, contact them. So if y'all have any questions, reach out, contact me, and I'll do my best to answer them. And if I can't answer them, I'll find a way to answer them. I'll get an answer for you. So anyways, I got a lot more videos coming. Once we get 2 or 3 of these honey supers filled up, I'm going to go ahead and start extracting. I got a lot of people asking for honey. So anyways, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoy the content. Have a good one.